of challenges that we had during the course of the year. But on the overall, all of our targets were met in the 10 counties that we operate from. And so within the next few days, we will be having a tour across the Southeast, graduating those students that have met the criteria and been trained over the past 1 year. So on the overall, it was successful, both academically, financially, and the rest of the targets we were able to meet.
Looking at the area of enrollment, and did you get any increment in terms of that? Were there some hitches and due to some financial constraints?
In fact, it was in 2018 that we experienced the largest number of enrollment, apparently due to some measures that the Ministry of Education put in place, that schools, especially private schools, you know, many of them were just hiring teachers without the minimum qualification criteria. I personally saw DEOs moving from school to schools, asking schools to make sure that their teachers are either in a teacher training institution or they give them the deadline of June of last year. And so we had massive enrollment in all of our 10 counties. So yeah, there was some improvement when it comes to enrollment of students at the various areas we are located.
Let's look at the quality you offer to incoming teachers of this country. How is it?
Well, what we try to give all of those candidates that enroll, because we have, for the past few years, we have had about 60% of those enrolling in our program to be in-service teachers. In other words, they are currently in the classroom somehow, calling themselves teachers instead of instructors. So they are already in the classroom providing instruction. And so 60% of those that are taking advantage of our programs are in the classroom, and then we have the 40% who are pre-service students just coming from high school who have the desire to make teaching as their preferred career. And so there are a few basic things we give our candidates. The first one is the content knowledge. It will amaze you to know that many of those, we have had serious problem with the in-service than the pre-service. Those students coming from high school, they are more little bit well versed when it comes to content, apparently because some of them just from high school, you know. But those in service, some of those who have served in the classroom for over 10 years, it will amaze you to know that some of them don't have the content knowledge. Yes, they have the teaching experience. Some of them boast of being 15 years in the classroom, 20 years in the classroom. But the content knowledge, what is the curriculum saying? If you were to be attending to earn a C certificate, that is the qualification for teaching from 1st grade to 6th grade as per what the Ministry of Education says. Even though for me personally, I feel that those who are doing C certificate should be limited from 1st grade to 3rd grade. But what is the curriculum saying about mathematics? Because C certificate is actually in general education. So when you earn a C certificate, it is expected that you are well versed in teaching the English, the social studies, the mathematics, and the science at that level. We realize that most of the in-service teachers, especially those from those rural areas, were not well versed in most of those areas, especially the mathematics and the science. So what the first thing we try to give them is the content preparedness. Because if you must be teaching mathematics, you must know what is the mathematics in the curriculum for 1st grade, for 2nd grade, for 3rd grade. That's the first one. The second one we try to give them is the pedagogical skills. And when it comes to that one, most time those who are pre-service, they lack that aspect. They don't know how. Teaching is not just about knowing the material. Say for example, you go to university and you got a degree in biology, you're not a teacher. You know, there are specific way, you know, you can teach. Issues of lesson planning, issue of classroom management, issue of curriculum innovation, issue of foundation studies. So we give them those pedagogical skills. And quite recently, there's another term that came out about andragogical skills. Meaning, because pedagogical means the art or science of teaching kids. You know, andragogical is the art or science of teaching adults. You know, so we try to equip them with both of these skills in addition to the content knowledge. And then obviously we give them the teaching credentials, which sets their limits. Because there's one thing to say the man is a teacher in the classroom and he doesn't have a credential, but you can only judge a man when he has a level. Say, for example, the man is a C certificate, you know that there are certain things he's supposed to know at that level. So if the man assumes that he's a B certificate, you know that there are certain things expected of him. But over the years, all of the expectations from CEOs and DEOs from these teachers, for me, they were just vague, because if a man don't have a level, you don't know his expectation. So we equip them with that. And lastly, what we try to build in most of our teachers is that appetite for continual professional growth. So you see, in most of the counties that we operate, when the teacher earns a C certificate, like an 80-year-old man in Maryland 2 years ago got a C certificate. He has been a principal for a school since 1979. His first time earning a C certificate. You will notice that most of them want to grow. They want to keep going to B. They will keep asking, when do we have? Is it possible for us to have the Associate of Arts degree program? And in most of those counties, it is not possible for us to do those extensions. For those that are possible, like Nima County, they have the professional staff. So for you to organize an Associate of Arts degree program is so quite easy. By the time we put out the average, we receive master's degree applications, and those are some of the criteria we look at before extension from C to B to that of the Associate of Arts degree. So you see, like in Magibi, their graduation is this coming Saturday. They will be graduating around 75 students at the Habel Multilateral Auditorium. They have operated for the past 3 years. They have graduated around 115 students for the past 3 years, and they will be adding 70. So they are now asking for the Associate of Arts degree program. And by our feasibility study, you notice that around the Magibi Bill, and even instructors are willing to leave from here to go to Magibi to go and teach. So we'll be launching the Associate of Arts degree program. So those 4 things we give to the teachers: the content knowledge, we make sure we equip them with the pedagogical and the andragogical skills. Then we give you that appetite for continual professional growth, and then we give you the teaching credentials. So those 4 basic things are those things that teachers leaving our program can actually boast of.
And what has been the impact? What are the feedbacks you've been getting over the period?
It is quite overwhelming, beginning with the government of Liberia. The last time there were this, I think, assessment done by the Ministry of Education as to verification of credentials, and so it was overwhelming. Madam Reeves, who was the then lone CEO of Monserrato, she called me. She said, it is quite overwhelming to know that LACOSE's graduates are all on the government payroll. If the government should compare the number of, maybe with the exception of the University of Liberia, but if the government should compare professional private teacher training colleges, even comparing that to the various TTRs on their payroll, they will realize that LACOSE stands tall. You know, in most of those counties, the CEOs are in touch with us. Can we get your best students? Who are those that are attending the program? In fact, schools are now writing us. Schools are taking the responsibility for their teachers, and that is something I must applaud those schools that are doing. Because if the man is providing instruction in your school and he's not qualified, it is not just about telling him go to school, go to school, go to school. There are some motivational means a school can use to send their teacher to school. Maybe have some memorandum of understanding with them so that they serve you for a period or so. And many schools are taking advantage of that, and it's something that I must applaud them and those DEOs that are also constraining them to make sure that these teachers attend private teacher training institutions and so forth. But what is really amazing me now, the latest trend, is that there are more young people. There are more young people just coming from high school, flooding into the profession, which in my mind is good. Except that what we need to do now is to really discover whether they are passionate. Whether it is not just because when there is this saying that when you qualify not available, you can qualify, or there is no other opportunity to go somewhere else. So they say, let me qualify myself to just be a teacher in the meantime. Teaching is not just, and that is the kind of motivation we want to get. You see them coming from high school, you see 18, you see 16. When I did the trend analysis of those who were attending LACOSE between 2005 to 2010, I realized that more than 75% of those who were attending LACOSE that year were about 35. More than 75%. the trend started to reduce from 2005 to 2015. It almost came around 50-50. Now, as I speak to you, the young people have increased in our various training sites. The young people have they have increased. So we need now. I personally have tried to initiate what is causing them to really flow into the profession. Is it because of the passion for it, or is it because they just want to do something in the meantime and so? And quite sincerely, teaching is a noble profession. If young people realize that, they can use someone said teaching is not a stepping stone. I don't know the definition of stepping stone, but I have seen great world leaders who have come from the classroom. So teaching is a place that when you serve diligently, whatever you want in life, you get. Even the Bible says that teachers will be judged differently. You understand? The problem with the young people that are coming to the classroom now is the basics, that fundamentals, those ethics, because you know we had a whole generation of young people who miss out on certain values. You know, issue of early childhood education got missing during the 15-year civil war, and these are the young people now who miss out on some of those ethics and values that are now wanting to become teachers. So there need to be more motivation given them. There needs to be more counseling given them so that they understand that this profession is a noble profession, and that is something that we intend to embark on. But it is a good thing to see young people. We have 3 young ladies who graduated from the Department of Mathematics, and it's surprising to know that they are teaching big schools, junior high mathematics. And it's something that whenever I think about, I'm happy, because when women do mathematics and they are teaching mathematics, I went to do some monitoring of one of them, and I was quite impressed. The students were participating, you know. So, because, you know, mathematics is a kind of somehow people say it's a terrifying course. So sometimes when females are teaching it, it becomes more relaxed than when a male is doing so. So I saw a classroom more participatory, and so even at La Cosa, we encourage more females to go to the mathematics department and do math, and a lot of them are taking on that challenge to do so. It's something that these are achievements that we are counting.
That's great, and hope you can continue in that direction. There is this issue, whether you've been able to inculcate that to some of your candidates, talking about the morals and corrupting the society, all the profession, in terms of how teachers go ahead and performing in a classroom, how they compose themselves, buying grades and all of that, sexual behavior. Have you been able to do that to them?
Let me say this. On almost all of our graduation and before the graduation, you know, we have a website, www.lacoses.org, LICOSESS.org. If you were to go there now, you'll see those who just graduated from Central December 22nd, and those who just graduated from Bombing, the 22 students that graduated from Bombing on December 23rd. Their names are posted there. Now, what we tell our graduates is that it is not just about posting your name on the website. We give them strict warning that the day you happen to become like that teacher in Grand Cayman, obviously we have the right. We will take, because employers go to the website to verify whether you were a graduate of La Coses. There was a point in time that the credential of La Coses was so much fortified all over the place. And what we thought to do is, how can we curtail this? How can employers verify when a person say, I'm a candidate or I've graduated from the institution? So the website is there. All you need to do, go to the website, click on the year the person said they graduated, and the entire list of graduates will be downloaded, and you can verify whether the person said they did mathematics, science. And this has exposed a lot of people. And we've told our graduates, if we hear some of these things about exploitation and sexual abuse and grade trading, obviously we take down your name from the website. That is something that all of them know. But over the years,
but don't you think you'll be doing more harm and causing some confusion problems? Despite graduating, or they graduated, but due to some other reasons they are defaulting and just taking a name from the automatic. Is it an agreement or whatever?
It is said to them. It is a policy. It is a policy. A teacher that, why do you think people give licenses?
Okay.
Why it is true that ours is a certificate, but when you default on your professional ethics and value, you are not worth to earn that kind of credential. You are misrepresenting the institution. So those kind of action is communicated even during orientations. But we've not had a single of such case. What we've had is people misrepresenting in terms of falsifying the institutional credentials. There are several individuals that we've gone after, and most of them have left their various schools because of that. Because when we find out that you're not a graduate of Lacoste, we go to your institution and inform your principal, this man is not a graduate. And we saw someone inform us that he is purporting a Lacoste credential, and many of them will go after those institutions have laid them off and so forth. So there are several measures we put in place, but I think the government will do more when we license our teachers and make sure that those licenses can be revoked if these actions continue.
That's a very good point. Licensing of teachers to ensure that they're made up with professional standards. So you're listening to the Super Morning Show at the same time watching on LNTV. Since we're talking about education, we understand that the private candidate test, which is commonly called resit, is ongoing across the country. And as a matter of fact, this happens to be the last test that has been administered in 13 of the 15 counties. And let's see if we can squeeze in the head of National Office of WAEC, Mr. Dilboto. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and how are you, Julius?
I'm doing great. Tell us about the exams currently ongoing, the private candidate test.
Oh, okay. This is the third phase of the exam. We started this morning. I'm happy that a good number of Liberians took advantage of this opportunity. We have 10,751 candidates who are doing this exam currently at 62 centers in 13 of the 15 counties.
So when are you people clamoring on the exams?
By the grace of God, we should be finishing the exam on Friday. On Friday, we'll be giving one subject, and that subject is mathematics. All the years we used to start with mathematics on the first day, but we decided that this time we should put mathematics at the end because, for the candidates to relax their mental tension before, facing mathematics. So mathematics will be the last on Friday, by the grace of God.
Okay, it is my understanding that this is the last private candidate exams.
Oh, sure. As you are aware, and everyone is aware, the Liberia Senior High School Certificate exam takes out in 2018. Or let me say 2017. 2017 was the last year that we gave that exam. And beginning 2018, we migrated to the West African Senior School Certificate exam, which is WAC. Well, we realized that there were a lot of candidates who took the Liberia Senior High School Certificate exam in the past, and some of them still have some deficiencies. So instead of subjecting them to coming into the WAC event and doing all the subjects, we decided to give them one more last opportunity. And when we make that request to the Ministry of Education, the Minister graciously granted us our request, and we are now conducting the exam throughout the country.
So finally, after this test, there will be no private candidate exams. Why, if I did not make it before, what becomes of me subsequently?
No, I mean, there will still be private candidate examination. But it will not be like your senior high, it will be wax.
It will be wax.
If you get the senior high, if you get the senior high certificate exam before, and you pass, let's say, 8 subjects, you say 1 subject, English or mathematics, and you want to obtain a WAEC certificate, you have to come to WAEC and do all 9 subjects. Oh, wow. So that's the difference. You have to do all 9. Yes.
Wow.
So this exam is the last opportunity we decided to give people who had such a problem. Because in 2017, we told them that was the last. We gave them a last option. We gave 2 private candidates examination in 2017. But again, because of the appeal we got from the public, we decided to give them this last. And when we met the minister told us that this should be the last, and final last. And we are showing that this should be the final last. Okay. So I can't guarantee that there will be any other private candidate exam for the Liberia Senior High School Certificate, but there will always be private candidate examination for the class.
Okay, thank you so much for that little update. As the head of National Office of the West African Examination Council, Liberia Office, Dilboto, so as you listen to him, the test will climb as on tomorrow over 10 candidate example, he will be on a wax, meaning you'll be doing 9 subjects. However, whatever way, either you feel only one, either math or English, but this time around you'll be doing all 9. So that's it so far. Let's see if we can open the phone lines and have a conversation with our guests in the studio. 0776089713, 0776089713. Let's see if we can have this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your name and where you call from?
I'm Joseph Estamara, calling you from a Christian community resident.
Okay, thank you. I guess you've been following the program, especially with our guest, Benjamin Wade.
I followed the program from start to end. And I want to appreciate the studio guys so much for all the education and all the empowerment they are really doing for young people, meaning when it comes to our educational status. You see, in start to give some statistics on why many young people now enrolling to acquire education. You know, sometimes it's somehow challenging. And for me, I'm one person I really want to take that opportunity because I follow people that attended La Course in a record as clean. And I thought it was that as a young person who want to pursue education to the higher level, impact education in other young folks. And that which, of course, is one of my key priorities as the member and public relations officer strategic team of La Course. That's why we are involved in empowering young people, young kids who are not educated and who are sitting home now going to school. And many of us want to take that challenges at least to attend the La Course teachers training, at least. Sooner or later, we'll pay me a visit to see how best we can get a enrollment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your participation on the show. 0776-089-713. Better still 080-514-096 are the numbers to call, and you'll be live on the program and speak to some of the issues we discuss here concerning quality education in our country, especially from the perspective of the teachers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you call from?
Thank you. My name is Chris here, and I call you from a Sophomore resident this morning.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning to your studio guest, your brother Benjamin Wade. I want to appreciate you, Mr. Wade, for your continuous efforts in making sure that the children of Liberia are educated. Your program, I think all of what you measure this morning is a very good one because you don't have people duping the systems and people going around purporting themselves to be a graduate from the institutions which they are not attended. So I want to appreciate you. We have pray that you'll carry to our beloved country, Lima, so that Lima can be vibrant, so that we all can be part of your own activity. Thank you all so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for your participation. We're taking the last caller. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you call from? Can you lower the volume of your radio, please?
Hello.
Can you lower the volume of your radio?
Yeah, I'm one far away from the radio.
Okay, go ahead. You live.
Yeah, I wanted to be grateful to Mr. Benjamin Wade for his deliberation. But I really want to understand one thing from him, please. During this day, when we attended La Course, we were not there. And we came from there 2004. So I wonder whether our need is on the website, please.
Okay, thank you. He will address that very shortly. Maybe there have been some level of updates at that level of that. But let's see. Finally, to squeeze in this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, my dear brother. Jesus Conto.
Good morning. Your name and where you call from?
Thank you. This is PG Play. Let me say good morning to your guests.